Hello. Welcome back to Ultra Kellen Real Estate. As always, thank you to everybody who's been subscribing to the channel. People been liking the videos, much appreciated. To get into this one, is your house an asset or a liability? I view it like this. So if you're just having a regular house that you live in, like a regular single-family home, that's a liability. So this is how I define liability. And if I remember correctly, it's the same way Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, the same way he defines liability, is if that house is not actively making you money. So of course, I always tell people 9 times out of 10 it's always better for you to own than to rent. Odds are you want to, gain some equity, whether it's actual equity in money or sweat equity into the work you put into your home, you do want to do that. But at the same time, that single family home is not actually making you money on a monthly basis. 9 times out of 10, you have to repair this, repair that. That house is costing you money. So it's not an asset as it's bringing you income to you. Now, it does help, of course, if you actually have some equity and things like that. But even with equity, you don't actually really make any money off of that, because that's not really an asset either. Having equity just means that you're basically just borrowing money from the house and you're still paying that money back. At the end of the day, the house doesn't really become an asset to you until you sell the house and you actually make money off the sale. And that's when it becomes an asset. Now, on the other side, looking at what I do. So, I've lived in multi-family buildings, for the past 11 years. So that's something where I'm living in, but the other units are making me money. So that becomes now an asset. So you have to look at it just as a sense of, is this place making me money on a monthly basis? And 9 times out of 10, if you have a house, unless you're doing Airbnb or something of that nature where you're renting out rooms or something, 9 times out of 10, that single family home that you own is a liability until you sell the house. Or really there is no B, because even when you pull equity out, you still owe the money at the end of the day. You're kind of just essentially borrowing the money for yourself. So one of the main things I always preach to people, especially if you're young and you don't have a family, and even if you do have a family and your family's not that big yet, just look at buying a multi-family unit. Buying a multi-family unit will allow you to A, live in the property, and then B, rent it out and still have some money coming in, because that will actually give you an asset where you have money coming in. And typically, if you have 3 to 4 units, that will give you money coming in, not just to cover your mortgage, but to also make money and put money into your pocket, or either put money back into the property and keep on upgrading it. And then you still also at the same time get some equity. So look at it like that. Just depending on what you want to do with real estate, if you want to be a landlord, or if you just want to get in the game and buy a single family house and live for yourself, this depends on what you want to do. But I always advocate, having a house, it is a liability, even though it is better than renting. And then having a multi-family unit, that is where you get some equity. That becomes an asset for you. Okay. All right. So got more videos coming up soon. As always, if you're watching on Instagram, you can find me on YouTube at Ultra Kellen Real Estate. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can find me on Instagram at Ultra Kellen. All right. Till next time, guys.